Hey guys, ZombieX here. Today I'm going to be talking about a new headphone I got from Beyerdynamic. I got it earlier this week. It's going to be the Beyerdynamic T90. It's supposed to be like the successor to the DT990. I think it sounds similar in some ways, and totally different in others. Similar as far as like the treble and mid-range presentation, but the bass is way different between the two. This one has more like DT880 levels of bass, while the T90 was somewhat, to me, like the first setting on the Custom One Pro. I mean the second setting. The first setting has no bass, but that's the way I always heard it. You can notice I'm doing some other stuff inside to hit the cups right now. I got some paper towel in there. And I also got a little bit of felt in the front. The felt actually helps to kill the treble, and the paper towel cuts off air to the pads, which actually increases the amount of bass. So I think that I did that to like improve the sound while I was demoing it. But I'm gonna give my impressions of like the unmodded headphone sound. I'll just be blunt about it. Is it worth the $650? No, it's not. It's not even near that. I would say like a third of that price, like $200. I would say it's worth. I feel that it's inferior to the T70. Honestly, I spent about $300 for the T70. There's no way I could justify $650 for this or so. It just does not sound as good as the DT990 to me. Now, one thing I've noticed with the Tesla headphones is that they all seem to have a warmer signature with like smoother highs and more mid-range in that. But that's not like that with the T90. T90 still has a very DT990-ish sound, minus the bass. It's more detailed. It's more resolving. The resolution's a lot better on it. But the treble kind of kills it for me. The treble it's very bright and has a lot of semblance to it, more than what the 990 has. It also has this weird, like, zing sound. It's hard to describe it. It sounds like cymbals are always crashing, like the tsh sound with cymbals. I always hear like that zing in the sound, no matter what. It's people speaking. It can be distracting. I don't like it, honestly. Soundstage is about the same between this and the DT990. And that's exactly the same. I say this one's maybe a little bit bigger. It has a little bit more air to it, but it's not like a massive improvement. The bass, it goes pretty deep, but it doesn't have a ton of body to it. Certainly it has less than my T70. But it does have really good texturing, like the DT80 bass does. Pretty good detailing in the bass. The mid-range, it's pretty resolving. You can hear a lot of stuff really good. But it's lacking the body. I think I haven't had a DT990 for a while, so this is memory, but I've owned two pairs. But I would say that this one has less mid-range than the DT990, which already is lacking, in my opinion. Highs are a lot more forward. The highs, speaking of them, they do extend really well, but they do roll off. It seems all the way up there. I can't be for certain. I do have some hearing damage, so I can't give you like an accurate like frequency it is, but I know when it goes all the way up, it's hard to describe it. But I feel this guy he's way overpriced for what he is. I mean, if he was closer to the price of what I paid for the T70, which is $300, if these brand new came out for about $400 and the street price was right around $300, kind of like how the DT models used to be, I would say it'd be worth it if you spent like $250 or so on it. Just like I know the DT models on Amazon a while ago, you could get the DT990 for like $210, brand new, 600 ohm version. Well, this guy's still like $650 on there, and it's quite overkill for me. For you guys too. I mean, I'm just being honest. I'm telling you what I feel about it, and any praise out there, I think it's not deserved, honestly. I mean, it's a great headphone, but it's not a great $600 headphone. It should be much less. But I think the genres it does do good would be like techno and that to me, like electronic stuff like dubstep. It doesn't have enough bass quantity for me for dubstep, but I think like the electronic sounds are really good because of the way the treble is, and the soundstage too. The soundstage helps with that a little bit. With rock, that's really hit and miss. I mean, rock music could sound really good depending on what you're using. If you use like the Mobile Fidelity stuff, like some of the old Pink Floyd Mobile Fidelities, or one album I found sounds really good is actually the new Camelot, Silverthorn album. I just picked this up about a week and a half ago. I like it a lot. It doesn't sound like harsh like most metal albums do. Granted, it's not produced all that great, and it does have compression to it, but it's one of the better ones I've heard in a while. I was listening to Coheed and Cambria on here, and some of their stuff was pretty good, especially the song Welcome Home sounded really good. Sounded pretty authoritative in that. But yeah, like for rap and that, they sound pretty good. If you're a basshead, it's going to be lacking body for you, so just so you know. So that's that. As far as how they do on amps, these do not need an amp because of the Tesla driver. They're very sensitive. I think it's rated at like 109 decibels or so. I don't remember the exact number. It's in the 100 range. But it's very good because I was playing them on my Zune, and my Zune could get up to about level 20, and the Zune goes up to 30, and it was still really loud, so that's good. It seems to be more sensitive than my DT1350, which is kind of odd. I don't know why. But as far as how the thing scales on home amps, I think it does improve pretty good on a home amp as compared to other stuff. I was using it on the V200, and that made it sound warmer, fuller. It did get more bass with it. The treble did smooth out, which is good. I thought that was for the better. So it sounded much better on the V200. On the auditor, it still was very bright, but the auditor's a neutral amp. It doesn't color the sound. But I noticed the bass did get more body. I can only say that it's probably because the auditor's tuned for higher impedance of like 300 ohms and up. This being 250 ohms is probably close enough, and I think the extra voltage helps. I also tried it on the Xcan V8P, and that sounded pretty good. It was nice and warm. You could turn the volume pretty loud, and there's no distortion. But I don't think these things need like a megabuck amplifier. I mean, they're $650, which to me, like I said, still overkill to me. But they don't need an amp of that price. You throw in a Matrix M stage, FIO E9. Hell, I mean, even I bet the O2, the Objective 2 amp, would do these things justice. And that thing's only like $150 from like GDS Labs. That would be, I think, a good amp for this. I don't think there's any need to spend like $400 on an amp because it's so sensitive. It doesn't require a lot of power, so you can get away with less. But if you want the refinement, that's when you step it up to the other, to the higher end amps. But I'd say if you buy this and you're worried about amping it, don't worry. You can get by on anything. I mean, even my my Galaxy S3 can drive it pretty well. But yeah, I mean, that's just my opinion on the headphone. I don't think it's exceptional. I think it's, I don't want to say it, I think it's crap for $600. But I think it's great for like $250. Like $200 to $250, maybe $300. It's really good. But any more than that, I think it starts to get overkill, guys. I mean, I'm just being honest. Don't hate me about it. That's just the way I view it. That's all I have to say for right now. But before I go, I'm going to show you my other Teslas. I got all the Tesla models except the T70P and the T50P. So I have the T90 here. I have, as soon as I get it, the T70, I have the T5P. I have the DT1350 here. And then I have the big boy over here, the T1. And I just recently installed new ear pads on him, which was very needed. His old ear pads were squished to nothing. But I just throwing those in their comparison. All those have the Tesla signature, which is going to be the warmest signature. The T90 is the only one that stands out as not having that signature to me so far. It's kind of like with Sennheiser, with the 595 and the 555. How those were the weird black sheep, where all the other Sennheisers are smooth and those were brighter and more aggressive. This one, it houses the typical Beyer sound, but it's really, really amplified. I mean, I don't know. But enough with that. I think I've got my opinion across on the headphone. Some news, though. I do have a... What headphone is it? The DTX 501P is coming. I talked to Pete Carini. He's sending those out for me, so those are on the way. Still want to get them. I'm not exactly sure. I thought I was going to get them with this, but it wasn't in there. But it is on the way, so look out for that. I have tried contacting Audeze. I've tried getting a hold of AKG, Sennheiser, Shure. None of them responded except Shure, and Shure wouldn't let me get the SRH. Oh, what's the new models? The 1840, I think, is the new one. The big one. It kind of looks like a HD600 and a T1 mixed together. They wouldn't let me get that one. They said they don't do demos for that. But I do have a... It's going to be the Burson Soloist amp coming sometime. It's whenever they get their loaner program set up. But that's it for now. I hope you guys don't hate me for this review. I mean, it's kind of bashing it a little bit, but that's just the way I feel about it. I feel that the audiophile world is all full of praise, and then any negative comments out there, they just bash down, they beat it down like they don't want to hear it. But I just want to get my opinion out on that. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Like, comment, subscribe, whatever you'd like. This is Austin. You guys have a good day, and see my next video that's coming. Out.